All right. Welcome to our first trucking stream. I am here with Tom. Tom, say something so I can check your levels.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. According to my levels, it sounds like you're coming through. So we'll just wait for someone in the chat to tell me Edgar's here. So I'm also going to put up the afterburner for you, so that you
Okay.
can
So
watch the
we can see
temperature
stats.
just to see the beauty of your work here.
Thank you.
So, without further ado, we're playing American Truck Simulator. Hopefully it'll pop. There we go. I might need to quit and restart. Nope, there it goes. I know it's kind of hard for you to read right now
I'm gonna
because
have
of the
to.
text on the screen.
Yeah, it's small, but I'll make it out. Looks like.
No, once the text goes away, you'll see it fine.
Okay, good.
I could make it bigger. Yeah, we got some
So-
time while we wait for some people to go in. So, it's not going to interfere with me at all. So, let me open this up so that I can make it a little. Where's there it goes? Okay. Now that should look better.
There it is. That's better.
Okay. All right. So let me do my introductions while everybody filters in here. So Tom, thankfully, finally put the finishing touches on upgrading my computer from a shitty built-in that was probably a generation or two old when I bought it, up to probably, I would say, a half a generation behind from all the videos I've been watching.
No, you're pretty much in there. You are in this current generation. I think you're solidly in there. I think all the audio's game audio. Okay.
Yeah, I just did the master volume. That you can do that so that I don't turn you down. But I still haven't figured out how the separate channel thing. I've been messing around with other stuff. So, I'm right in there. The only thing I'm probably slightly behind on is technically I don't have RTX. So, that's about it. I think everything else I'm pretty up to date on. That's why I said half a generation, because I just don't have that one feature.
Yeah, but there's like 5 games that use it, so I don't think you're missing too much. And you're not a Minecraft streamer, so you're good.
So before we get started, I'm gonna say I've had really good results with it, which no surprise. On top of Tom experience building computers. I don't think there'd be an issue with the build, and also from watching the videos, I knew we had purchased the right parts. Not that I doubted Tom, but it was like one of those things. We're going, oh, okay.
It's nice to have a little reassurance.
Yeah. So everything, as you can tell, the temperature up there. Just to give you a little history lesson, because we want to have the temperature thing in the upper left-hand corner here. Every time I would stream while, playing a game on the computer, that CPU temperature would be near 80 degrees.
Or higher. Or higher.
The consistent was like 79, 80, and then it would jump to 83, and then the computer would just shut off. Good news with this computer, not sure if it's good news, this thing can go higher than 83 without shutting off. So
yeah, I think you'll be alright.
If for some reason I put game settings on wrong, or I do something wrong, not an experienced PC gamer, I had the chance to knock it down before it snaps the computer off. That I did not have the opportunity with in the last build. So I am really glad for that. So I'm going to pull up the map here while we get started for the game. So my goal was I'll probably play like an hour, hour and a half. You know, I should say hour and a half, 2 hours. 2 hours, let's see if we're doing. So all that yellow is where I've already driven.
Okay.
You know, so I've explored, as you can see, 20% of the map. So what I wanted to do was I was trying to, at least this stream or another stream, I want to go from the furthest you can go, either Carlsbad or Hobbs in New Mexico, and see if I can eventually, once I get all the way leveled up with long distance, drive it as far northwest as possible.
Driving all the way up to Washington
Either Port Angeles or Bellingham or anywhere, basically anywhere in this little, I guess that would technically be a peninsula.
Yeah.
There.
A little inlet.
I have a better chance of getting to Seattle than, you know, the smaller towns. But, and then eventually maybe we'll just go along the Mexican border, Belize. I didn't realize there were 2 Carlsbads in the United States.
The things you learn playing American Truck Simulator.
Can I tell you how much of a non-music person I am for something I figured out by American Truck Simulator?
What's that?
That why a certain Green Day song had a certain name.
Which Green Day song is that?
My mouse is right around it when you catch up.
You just figured that out?
I was like, oh shit! It was one of those when I was this many years old when I figured that out. I'll admit I've never the hugest Green Day fan, so forgive me for not looking into their history or the state of Washington map to figure out that Longview is an actual town in Washington. But yeah, that was pretty funny when I was driving by, when I was doing my trip to, I think I was going to I think I was going to Tacoma or Olympia, and I drove past that and found it. But yeah.
One of these days I'd like to get out that area, Seattle.
Yeah.
I've never, the first time I ever went to the West Coast was last year when we went to Vegas in California. That was the first time.
I have 2 cities I've always wanted to go to. They never held, you know, they never get to do it, but would be in the same area is to go to actual Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
Here. And London. So I can do it get close in truck simulators in both continents. So let's get started. So what I'm doing is I'm going from Albuquerque to Hobbs, which will put me through Roswell, Artesia? I'm probably mispronouncing that. And Carlsbad, and you know, I should find all these places, maybe not Carlsbad.
Now, when you cross through Roswell, does any weird stuff happen?
There is actually, I don't know if it's actually a UFO or anything, but there is a trailer for like people going for UFOs. And the trailer has like a cutout of an alien.
That's good.
In it, yeah. You'd have to go off the course a little bit to find it, but so that was my plan for everyone out there watching. Is I want to have one drive where we just do the longest drive possible in this game. So we're going to start out going to Albuquerque to Hobbs and then see where we go from there. Probably not going to start that big long drive on this stream, but I want to see if it opens up. But yeah, so let's get started. I bought my own truck, but I'm doing a quick job here just to get Hobbs. I'd have to start from Fresno in my own truck, which is up here in the upper right-hand corner. That nice cherry colored truck.
I like that. Cherry red's a great color for trucks, huh? I definitely like big rigs that are that color.
Yeah, so when I was playing this earlier to test it, I clipped through the median, and it was weird. Like, you're supposed to smash into the median and get some damage points.
Went right through it.
Yeah, it literally warped me through it. And then I was stuck on the other side of the highway.
Going the wrong way.
Okay. Give me new directions. There we go. I was not going to be able to make that U-turn.
So, Mark, tell me, have you been using this thing all day or what?
Most of the day. I've been testing out games. Like, I was just playing Civ 6 before we started, and that never jumped above 70. Only once did it... Only once did it jump into the 70s, and that was when there was a lot of activity on the screen.
Yep.
The only thing I'm noticing, which that hasn't really affected the computer, but just from watching, you know, those channels that you got me addicted to, is that the percentage of usage on my GPU never really goes above 70%, and they always seem to have them in the 80s and 90s. But that's because they're overclocking.
That's because they're playing at 1440p normally.
Yeah, that's right. I can't really go above 1080, even though I have a 4K TV. Just for some reason,
there are games you could probably play in 1440p with that graphics card. I would say you could probably get away with this at 1440p if you wanted to.
Oh, this is on Ultra. This is as high as it can possibly go.
I think
it's even at...
The resolution you could probably play at 1440p.
Resolution, I am at 2160.
Oh, so you're at 4K.
Yep.
There you go. You're locked 60 FPS 4K on this.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. And it's not like 70 to 73 is the highest. I'm going to take the fine for this. Oh, no, they're not giving it to me because I had already started turning. Awesome. Oh, I got into a rear end accident because someone literally stopped short. Like, it looked like an AI thing.
Yeah, your CPU's barely getting used right now, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I guess because this is such an older game.
It's not even that old. I mean, it's 3 years old. I would love to see what Euro Truck, what those percentages look like, because that's an older game.
Yeah.
Nope, wrong way.
Why would you go west?
I don't know. I thought I was going from Hobbs to Albuquerque.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you're going the other way.
Yeah. I think I can U-turn right here. Let's see. It's going to make me go all the way around, but I'll see at the first gap. It'd be awesome if I could get that glitch again. I'm going to try. Nope. Alright, we'll load an autosave. Because I just really fucked up my truck.
Yeah, let's get back to before you went the wrong way.
Yeah, so this is running 4K and all that. Euro Truck's older, so I'm interested in that. Let's see. I'm assuming I can run everything Ultra on games like Battleship Brigade and things that were literally easy to download. Yeah, we'll just start it over. I was barely out.
And you gotta remember also, on top of the game being played, it's streaming it too, so it's pulling double duty and still giving you pretty good temperatures. And it's playing at 4K 60 FPS.
Which, I mean, the only way to play American Truck Simulator is at 60 FPS. That's what they all say.
It's very intensive. You gotta play it at 60 FPS. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah. The thing I'm most glad, I guess that's grammatically correct.
Yeah.
Is that for Witcher, it seems like I can get that at 1080 60.
Yeah, Witcher's tough to run on anything, so 1080 60 is a good resolution to play.
Yeah, it was not liking 1440 and, you know.
I mean, you could probably play it at 4K if you set it like 4K medium or 4K low.
Yeah. The issue I was having was it was 25 FPS, and for a game like The Witcher.
Yeah, you want the best frame rate possible.
Yeah, frame rate over graphics. But like I said, the one time when I had it running at 4K 60, I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty." Well, yeah, I know I probably need a slightly better graphics card to be able to do that.
Now, you see, the beauty of your system is that you don't need to upgrade your CPU for like ever. You can use that CPU for a few years and not have to worry about it, and still be able to upgrade your graphics card, and you'll be fine. It won't bottleneck it. As you can see, your CPU's not even getting used. So,
yeah. The funny part was the percentage thing wasn't ever that high on the last card or the last CPU. It was just it would run extremely high.
Yeah.
And it was probably being overworked or old one or another. But yeah, it's nice. I haven't tested video editing yet to see. Adobe loads quicker, but that's because it's one of 4 things running on the SSD.
Yeah. After you have an SSD, you cannot go back. There's no going back.
Yeah, I have Adobe, all the launchers, OBS, RetroArch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I'll put all my launchers, any of the apps I'm using on the C drive, and then all the games themselves and saves and everything else goes on the secondary drive.
Yeah, I realized that the Steam didn't catch all the cloud saves for all the games. So City Skylines has an old save. I was like, I'll just start over. No. I fucked the city up anyway when I tried to build a train line and didn't realize you could raise the platforms. So I was making traffic all over the place.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go cool 77 miles an hour here.
So I have to confess, it wasn't the smoothest build for me, just because I felt a little pressure, not from you, just for the mere fact that you were having to sit outside my house and wait for me to finish this thing.
Yeah,
because
I wish I could have told you at the time. It was completely fine. The only reason I called you the one time was because you had accidentally FaceTimed me. Or Facebook video or whatever, and I just got nervous. I was like, "Oh shit! Did something happen?"
No, luckily nothing was wrong. I just did a bonehead move, and I plugged the front panel connectors into the wrong spot. So when I hit the power button, nothing happened, and I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh no, what did I do?" Because the way your case is, it was really hard to see the labels on the front, on the connectors on the bottom, and I was not paying attention because the ones I plugged it into looked exactly the same as the front panel connectors, like they're lined up the same, but they're not the same thing. So I finally looked down because I took the motherboard and everything out of the case. I used a spare power supply I had laying around just to make sure I didn't blow up your power supply or something. And I was looking at the board. I'm like, what is going on? And I look, and I open the manual, and I'm looking at the front panel connectors, and it says it's labeled JFP1, and where I had stuff plugged into and I was trying to use was not labeled JFP1. It was labeled something else, and I was like, oh, great. So as soon as I touched because to start a computer when you don't have anything plugged in, you short out the where the power button would be.
Yeah.
You make a connection, and it started right up. So I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
I thought I broke something because I was, and then for whatever reason, your case did not like me. I cut up my hands a ton, which partially my fault because my hands are drier than hell, trying to keep them clean.
Yeah.
Just from, social distancing stuff and washing your hands constantly. But I cut the hell out of my knuckles just working in there. Because it's just a little cramped, because in new cases, where all your hard drives are sitting doesn't exist anymore. All that's open on like a newer case.
Yeah. That's the next step is case. That's why I made the joke when you sent me the photos of the injuries. I was like, the case knows.
It must have known. It was not happy with me.
Yeah, that was the thing about getting hooked on those channels. Like, I don't think they would actually force me to buy anything expensive. Like, I'm not gonna watch them and go, oh shit, I gotta go get a 2080 Ti. But the one thing where the guy was like, oh, it's like there's like a $35 case. It's a lot more, airflow than most older cases. I was like,
Yeah, airflow is a big deal. Like, there's a lot of nice cases that are all just like a glass box, like the one Jenny's getting. Don't tell anybody. But they don't have a lot of air flowing through them to cool all the components down. All of my cases, for the most part, have like a mesh front, so that I can get a good amount of air blowing through it.
Yeah, but it also depends on the type. Like, I would probably need more of a airflow situation than Jenny would, just because of personal situations where it's extremely hot in my house constantly. So, room ambient temperature.
Yeah, that's something people don't talk about a lot. Ambient temperature has a lot to do with how your computer runs. And if it's hot, it's going to make the computer run hot.
I guarantee when I get a better case with airflow, my temperatures are going to go down.
Oh, I can guarantee it.
Yeah, because right now I have a really old case that I think doesn't have much airflow at all.
It's got a little bit. It's got 2 fans in the front at least and 1 in the back, so it's got a little bit of air flowing through it, but the fans are not in a great spot because that case has because your case has a DVD drive, which a lot of cases now don't have. So now they have fans in that spot just blowing straight into the CPU and the motherboard instead of being on the bottom of the case.
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably tell people what you were using and then what you're on now.
Run it down.
So we upgraded Mark previously. He went from using the first thing we upgraded was his RAM and his graphics card and his power supply. Yeah. It was a standard run of the Chinese power supply in a pre-built. I'm not even sure what it was. I didn't even look to see what brand it was. It probably didn't have a brand. Yeah. Well, we upgraded it to a Corsair CX650M, which is a nice semi-modular power supply, which was great because the case does not have a ton of room to just store extra cables. He went from a NVIDIA GT730 to a 1660 Super, which he's using right now.
Mm-hmm.
We originally upgraded him from 8 gigs of RAM to 16 gigs of RAM. But the CPU he was previously on was an AMD FX 8320, which is kind of infamous for being like the first 8-core consumer processor, but it really wasn't 8 cores. It was 4.
Yeah.
But AMD called it 8, and then they got sued for doing that. But it was a 4-core. Essentially, it was a 4-core 8-thread processor, which is kind of like the AMD equivalent to an i7.
Yeah. The great thing about what you're talking about right now is I understand some of it now.
I'm glad you understand it. It makes me feel better. So,
oh yeah, I know, like multi-thread and all that stuff. I got it.
So we went from that to an AMD Ryzen 5 3600, 6-core, 12-thread processor on a B450 motherboard.
Tomahawk.
The B450 Tomahawk Max, which I'm sure by now that you've watched all these channels, that's like the only motherboard that they talk about.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
There were two things I noticed, and one I realized was because it was like 2 months ago, and that's why we couldn't find it. And the one guy, I think it was Bitwit, constantly talks about the 1600AF CPU.
Yeah, so my original plan for you guys was to get that CPU. But as soon as you guys went, oh yeah, we're going to buy our parts, it disappeared.
Yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere.
You can't find... Yeah. Like, I had it on Jenny's parts list and stuff for months, and it was an $85 processor. But as soon as, like, we went to get all the parts for you guys, it was out of stock everywhere. And now it's selling for like $150. But at the time, the 3600 was on sale for like $170. And at that price, you really can't go wrong. That's like such a deal for that processor.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I wonder if you coordinated to when both of those channels that have millions of subscribers talked about the AF. Is when the things might have went out of stock.
Well, it had gone out of stock once previously and then come back into stock. But it just took a while for it to come back, and now that they've released a new Ryzen 3 processor that's 4 cores, 8 threads. And they're like blowing old processors out of the water. I don't know that they're going to start selling the 1600AF anymore. They might just phase it out.
Yeah, that's what I was doing for some of this stuff. But yeah, so I think the main thing was I was going to ask you about is now that I have 4 things for RAM. I did learn what they were called, but I forgot.
DIMMs. They're DIMMs.
That's it. Putting... I saw from the one thing was going up to 32 is, meant more for video editing. And I'm wondering if that might be the next step for me, since we might do video stuff for, this channel and Stranger Damies and all, and just get that to 32 just to make, life a little easier on the video editing end. But then again, I haven't tried it with the current setup. Hey, we're in Roswell, guys.
Nice.
But it's
Roswell discovered.
But it's daytime, so.
Boo! No UFOs. Anyway, but yeah, I'd say that's since you do video editing and you're gonna, once we get back to doing Stranger Damies live and video, having 32 gigs of RAM would probably be a good thing. Like right now, I'm doing very light video editing, and 16 gigs has been fine for me. I can't say that I've really had an issue.
And the Ripjaw RAM is relatively cheap. Not cheap, but it's not. It's not like needing a new GPU RAM, or something like that.
In terms of computer parts, it's somewhat inexpensive.
Yeah.
And if you find it on a deal, it can be even better.
Yeah. Like I said, those are the only two things I have left. Is possibly going to 32 for editing video, and at some point when the next generation of cards comes out, seeing if there's any deals on the next step up on a video on a GPU.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't mean it has to be this year or next. Like those are like the next two things that are
yeah.
because
See,
they were the first
yeah,
things
I mean,
updated.
for computers, you can always find something to upgrade. Like I just threw in 3 RGB fans on the front of my case because I saw what Jenny's was going to look like. So I was like, I gotta make my case look kind of cool, but
Did you
it's just
did you throw $300 worth of RGB fans?
no. I spent $50 on fans, but it's
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? That's just how much they cost.
Yeah. No,
I would never buy $300 worth of fans.
That was my favorite thing on Bitwit's thing when he was doing the how's my build or how's my PC picker thing.
Yeah.
And the guy, he was like, dude, you have $300 worth of fans on here. He's like, I know you want to bling it out, with a $2,000 price limit, but I can get you a 2080 Ti, top of the line RTX card if you just take those fans out and save you $100.
It's hilarious how, because some people would rather just have it look good than have it, play games at a higher resolution.
Yeah, that dude could find 3 fans that put color in it for the money that's saved and get the better GPU and be at the same price. It was just funny. It was my one step in of now knowing this stuff from watching those videos, and as soon as this popped up and I saw it, I was like, wait, that's not $300, is it?
Yep, that is.
And he didn't notice it until he got to the end, which is funny. But yeah, that's one fun thing. Like I said, when I get my new case, and hopefully maybe, by the time I get it, hopefully quarantine's over, or at least we're good enough that, I can learn how to actually put things into a case and you can supervise it. And we're not doing it over video.
Yeah, please don't. I've had to do that one time, and I don't recommend anyone do it. Trying to explain to someone over video when you can't see what's going on has got to be the hardest thing I've ever done.
I can't imagine. The closest I come is trying to explain to my mom's boyfriend how to work the Amazon Fire Stick without being able to see what he's seeing on the screen.
Yeah, anytime you're trying to explain something blind, it's one of the most frustrating things in the world. Especially when it's something as complicated as building a computer to someone who's never done it before. If it was someone who knew what they were doing, they just needed me to look at something real quick, that'd be one thing. But I was trying to explain to someone who had never built a computer before what they were doing and how to do it every step of the way. It took 2 days.
Yeah. When I switch over, I'm going to wait until, it's safe to, be able to come over, before I buy the case, which gives me time to save for it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily there's a lot of nice, semi inexpensive cases that you can pick up. You don't have to spend $150 on a case.
No, I am not needing the RGB light I got on this. I can barely see. It's just the outside of the motherboard, and it's all covered up because there's barely any.
You have a window, but it's not very big.
Yeah. So. But
did you mess with that at all? Did you change it?
Yep, I made it orange.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a whole complicated process. Setting up Mystic Light. they're asking for all this stuff, and I'm like, and then I tried to register the motherboard,
Yeah.
and it kept going, oh, we can't find it, and I'm like, what? And here they wanted me to go manually and get all 3 serial numbers that are on there. And
Off
I'm
the
like,
box.
I am not opening my case.
Oh, is it on the board itself? It's not on the box?
Yeah, one of the serial numbers is on the I can see it if I just take the side panel off, but I'm like, it's not worth it. I should be turning here. Sorry, Copper.
You're not doing anything illegal unless you run into them.
That's what I'm worried about that. See, I have the realistic things on. Maybe they just haven't updated. That should be an IHOP.
Not an iFlop.
So I wonder if it hasn't updated. But yeah, I got the realistic textures on mod and the, realistic gas stations, which is works every so often.
It looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is perfect, and I'm just interested to see the next step. Yeah, I gotta check the mod, because that should be a chevron. Oh no, it is a chevron. He missed the sign with the gas prices on it says chevron, but everything else says the fake name.
Fake name.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, I figured out that with everything I got, having Game Pass on PC, which I downloaded Gears Tactics because it's on there just to test it. I've heard mediocre things about it, so test it out. But I think there's only going to be like 1 or 2 games that are not sports games that I'll be getting on console. Because I'm not a heavy gamer, needing every single, game, and I'm not a fanboy of a certain system. So, the only one is Last of Us Part 2. It's the only game I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, the only
anything
game
on Nintendo, obviously.
Well, yeah, Nintendo's its own thing.
Jumps in the comments, but yeah.
Like, the only game I can think of right now that I can't think of any that I have to play on a console that are coming.
Last of Us is the only one because it's PlayStation exclusive.
Right.
Like, of any of the big games coming out, you're not a Last of Us fan, but you take that out because you don't really, you're not a fan of that genre. There's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I have planned on getting Dirt 5 when it comes out, but I'll probably get it on PC. Whenever Cyberpunk comes out, I'll probably get it on PC.
Yeah, which reminds me, I gotta cancel my Amazon.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, yeah,
Ghost of Tsushima, if that's not coming to PC, maybe.
I think that's I want to say that's a PS4 exclusive, or PS4 or 5.
And it looks like it's just Sony, because Microsoft is doing a lot of the Windows 10 stuff for all its...
Well, that's the thing. Like, if it's a game that is... Like, any of the Forza games, I'll buy digitally, and then I'll be able to play it on PC or Xbox. Which is beautiful.
Who did I hit?
Those clouds look great. The sky and everything.
I just got a crashed vehicle thing, and I have no idea what I hit. I was in the lane, like, I didn't swerve or anything. I stopped the car. Did the car hit me?
Maybe you got hit. Yeah, maybe you got rear-ended or something.
Yeah, the realistic mod. The only thing that bothers me a little bit with the realistic mod is that sometimes the brush looks a little flat. Where it's supposed to be like dry grass.
Yeah.
But for a mod, that's not much to complain about. Like the trucks look fantastic. But it is playing at 4K, so this is the best this game can look. The fun thing with Euro Truck Simulator, when you go into northern Russia, like St. Petersburg and all that, because I think it ties the weather sort of to your time of year that you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Because when if you go to St. Petersburg like now until the end of June, you get to see I think it's called like the white lights or something like that, where it's like almost daytime 24 hours a day up there, and they put it in the game.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because I was watching on Giant Bomb, Alex Navarro does the trucking stuff. Streams, it's just, so more it's a way of interacting with the chat than anything for them playing these games. But yeah, he went to St. Petersburg and noticed that the sun never really set, and he was like, wait, this is right for this time of year, right? And somebody was like, yeah. Oh, really? I'm almost there. It told me I was running low on fuel, but I'm literally around the corner from the Wahlberg.
Yep, I can see it.
Which may or may not be wrong. We're not sure.
What's that on the left there?
It's a Ned's.
Ned's? Never heard of Ned's before.
Ned's Bar and Grill. But yeah, so it was pretty cool that phenomenon was represented in the game. Alright, I gotta slow down and get behind this Ale Bay guy. Because he's not gonna go fast enough to let me eat.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole new world going to PC gaming.
Yeah, and it's finally like something I keep forgetting that pushing in the right stick, or left stick, is my horn. Yeah, I should be able to do that. Like, that UPS truck looks really good.
Yep. That's great. FedEx. I'm guessing those are things that are not usually in the game either.
No, it's
all part of the mod.
almost got through here without damaging, and then I cut a turn too close.
We're admiring the FedEx truck. That's what happens.
No, it wasn't even admiring the FedEx truck. It was that I was lining up the place where I have to park it. Goddamn pole. Alright, now we should be good. Now, I can switch to the overhead camera. Yeah, one game that looks really good, because it's a driving game, obviously, is I have Burnout Paradise, the remaster.
Yeah, I feel like racing games in general, when it comes to PC gaming, just look better on a PC. Just because between the frame rate being 60 FPS and you being able to play at higher resolutions, I feel like they always look a little better on PC.
Yeah, that might be the game that runs the hottest.
There's a lot of stuff going on in that game.
Yeah. I mean, FIFA 20, for some odd reason, runs ridiculously hot, and they want me to play it at 720, and I'm like, why? It's a sports game.
Yeah, did you get your GeForce experience all set up?
No, I think I have to do that. Go ahead.
So when you do that, that'll actually give you like the best, like the most optimized settings. Once you sign into that,
Got it.
which is a nice thing. Honestly, right now, I think you and Jenny will probably have faster PCs than I have. I have one that may be faster, but like the PC that I purchased, that I built, it's you guys probably have better computers than I do now.
The student has become the master.
Yeah, well, you did. I did something real dumb, and I bought one of AMD's GPUs from like the last generation. I bought a Vega graphics card, but I bought it at a decent price. Like I bought it at like $399 or like $400 when they were retailing for like $600, like $500-$600. So I was like, oh, I'm getting a great deal. But little did I know, you need like a 800-watt power supply to run this stupid thing. And it's not exactly the best card. But it works, because right now I have it on a 1080p screen, so it's able to handle that just fine. My ultra-wide screen is using a RTX 2070, and even that can struggle a little on that from time to time. Mark, wait. Good.
That's the one thing that I noticed from getting into figuring this stuff out. It's just...
Oh, telephone pole, or light pole.
You know what? I have a lot of money. I can just do this. Sure. Just tow. That's my truck. So
Yeah.
I have to pay for that. But yeah.
Yeah, like I told you, this is kind of a big old rabbit hole to run down. Once you get started, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, you know, there's thankfully I forgot. I haven't got tempted to, you know, really. Oh, look at them city workers across the street.
That must be Union.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, goddamn FedEx truck.
I don't think I got any damage from that. I'm gonna check, but I don't think I did. No.
Of course, there's a cop right there.
Yeah. Blocking my way of getting back into traffic. There we go. Alright. Now, let me get here and then we can finish our sentence before I crash my truck for it. Yeah, I got nothing for that. FedEx truck. Piece of tin. Yeah, it's just... It's more... I'm more in the learning phase where, you know, I'm not like rushing, oh god, this guy says this thing's great, let me go get it. You know, type of mode with it. I just, like, I'm finally able to play PC games, even if it's my stupid 4X RTSs, you know, that don't really need much power to work.
It's nice to have it on tap, though.
Yeah. I can play my city builders and not have to worry. And then also, God, this truck, terrible. This must be California. Oh, cop pulled someone over. Not me, not the crazy driver here. It's been in 2 accidents in the last hour. But yeah, I am beyond excited for when Jenny gets hers together.
Which should be early next week. I hope.
Yeah, that was a good thing about mine, was being in pieces. I didn't have to wait for every single piece, to come through.
Yeah. Yeah, Jen learned the hard way of where you should order from and when.
Yeah, and it doesn't help the pandemic, but
yeah, it's not helping anything. But
I'm excited.
the last thing that needs to come in is the case, and that's supposed to be here Monday. Supposed to be. So I may take my Monday stream and stream building her computer, possibly. Depending on if the case gets here at a normal hour. We'll see.
Be awesome. Because I've seen bits and pieces of it just looking over your shoulder when you did the first part of my upgrade. And then I've obviously watched, Jay's 2 Cents and Bitwit and all those other guys who introduced me to.
Yeah.
Online do builds. But they also do it in a 20-minute video, and I doubt that it takes that long.
No, it building a computer start to finish, depending on what kind of stuff is, like if you're using a water cooler or if you're using, different, like 2 graphics cards and things like that, they can take way longer than you think. Generally, though, a standard build like Jenny's is going to be, should take hour and a half, 2 hours. Should. I say should. I'm going to knock on wood when I say should. Because my luck, something's going to bite me in the ass and it's going to take me like 4 hours to get that stupid thing together.
Should have my trailer should be here to pick up.
But now everybody wants a PC. Our buddy Jonathan, that we play D&D with, has asked me to build him he asked if I had any spares first, and I said, fortunately I don't have any spares.
Yeah.
But I may have enough parts to put together. He wants an emulation build, something that he can emulate up to like the GameCube and Wii on. So I need to do some research and find out what exactly is needed to run Dolphin, and then I'll go from there.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me I should charge people, and I'm like, well, if they're my friends, I'm not going to charge them.
Yeah.
I understand I can make money off of this, but at the same time, if it's a friend of mine, I'm not going to charge them for something I enjoy doing.
Alright, let's go to Flagstaff. I thought I had a shorter job to just make some money. But apparently I screwed something up. Maybe when I went to the, got towed.
You got towed to the wrong place?
No, I probably got towed and then the job expired.
Oh, okay.
Would be my guess. Alright, now let's go pick up my trailer. Yeah. You'll see in a second my beautiful
beautiful
Truck here.
rig.
Yeah, my beautiful rig. Yeah. Nope, I misjudged that. Go.
I'm just excited for Jenny to have a computer that works. I know yours would at least kind of work. Hers doesn't work at all.
Yeah. I think that's what we're most excited for because I want to. I want to be a little more straighter than that.
Because up till now, Jenny was like our most consistent and viewed streamer for all of our stuff. And when she's not playing, we don't have any views. should tell us something, apparently.
Yeah, we don't know how to pick them. There we go. All right. And I am in business with my delivery. Let's go take this to, I think we're going to Flagstaff.
Flagstaff, Arizona.
It's one of those things where I've wasted enough time already. I'm not going to. I'm not going to go into the menu and figure it out. Wait, can I just press start and figure it out? Yes, we're going to Flagstaff. All right, that's nice. That's good too. So, just, with this being a chill stream and all that, so this will probably be my Thursday streams. Once we get Jenny up and running, I should say. Because I think it would be better having three-person conversation.
Yeah,
on there.
I agree.
So that, I'm not crashing into things while talking to you. But yeah, doing Truckin' Thursdays. I want to do the at least one more stream of doing that D&D setting thing. I like just talking it out. And then, once we get all good, maybe finding a multiplayer game to do, like Destiny 2 is free. So, maybe we can do that, or, I'm only saying that because that's something we can all get without having to spend any money.
Yeah, for sure. We could definitely run through at least the beginnings of it. My character will be fully leveled, but you guys, I can run you through that stuff.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a game where the three of us could play. That wouldn't cost any extra money for anybody involved. And that's the only one that I think, I guess I don't want to do any, Battle Royale, Apex or anything.
I mean, we could. That would be cool because all those things require 3 players, and I never have 3 players to play anything.
I guess we could do that through this now, because I'm just worried about, because I wouldn't be mouse and keyboard.
Oh, you would want to play controller?
I'm not mouse and keyboard. I lost that skill when I stopped playing PC games. When you
stopped playing Doom.
Yeah, I was really good at Doom. I beat Doom 2 at 9 years old, 10 years old. But somehow I can't do mouse and keyboard anymore.
It happens. You got to get used to it. It's not something that you can just stop doing and then come back to.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you gotta work at.
Yeah, that's
because I still suck at it from time to time too.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking Destiny 2, because that's, 3-player co-op.
PvE as opposed to
yeah.
PvP.
Yeah. But if the two of you are good at mouse and keyboard, I don't know Jenny's skill in that, then I can be the weak link, because I'd probably be the weak link anyway. in a first-person shooter.
Considering it's FPS, yeah. Who knows? Maybe if you start playing mouse and keyboard, you'll be better at it.
I was really tempted today, and I may still do it, was to download the only... well, I'm not doing Call of Duty. I already made that mistake on my Xbox, where it is now slowly becoming a Call of Duty box. It's almost 180 gigs. I was going to download Battlefield 1.
Just because you were halfway decent at that one?
Yeah, because I enjoyed the play, because it wasn't as... Like, the weapons were more simple because it's World War I. So
I own the PC version of Battlefield 1.
And I can get the PC version of it, because I did... it may not be a deal, but I really like the EA Access, like, basic, not the Premier bullshit. That's $100 a year.
Yeah.
The only advantage you get over the basic is that I think you get to play the full games early instead of just 10-hour things.
Yeah,
and for an extra $70 a year,
yeah,
I can wait for the sports games to come out.
Me too.
Even though you can convince yourself and go, well, if I was still in the mindset of buying 2 sports games a year, then I'd be like, yeah, this is a deal. $100. It'd save $20. But the thing is I'm just going to go. Who cares if someone hits me? The thing is, the one game I would buy is not even on PC, which is NHL 20.
Right.
So the $100 thing is worthless to me, because it would be FIFA and Madden, and I could interchange those every year. Burgers. But yeah, I might dance. Because I heard Battlefield 5 is like a memory hog, so I'm gonna try it.
I mean, you should be able to handle Battlefield 5 on that.
No, I'm not saying for me personally. I'm like, I'd rather not have anything, already be.
Well, you have a nice big 2 terabyte drive, which should not fill up that fast.
Oh no, it won't. I'm just saying, I'm already not great at FPS. I just don't want to throw another monkey wrench into it.
With mouse and keyboard.
Well, not even that. Of it being a possibility that it'll slow down my frame rate or something.
Oh, no, that won't happen.
And plus, I heard that Battlefield 5 isn't as good as Battlefield 1 in terms of multiplayer.
Yeah, I haven't played Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1, and I played Apex, and then I haven't really played an FPS after that, unless you count Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I think... Oh, the one thing I didn't mention was, I think one of the best things about finally getting this computer, besides the fact that I'm looking into, possibly surprise building a computer for my sister, which may not need to be, that it might be a budget like PC, because the girls really only play like Fortnite and Sims.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking for something, because, my niece has a laptop and the other one has an iPad, that plays Roblox and stuff on it. So I don't think they need a beefy computer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to use the parts you have, they should work just fine. Like, the only thing I would recommend is probably getting...
I need a new GPU.
Yeah, another graphics card. But if they're just playing Fortnite, you could get a cheap like RX 570, RX 580 for like $150.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If I could put it all, because I was weighing the options of using what I have to just be like just emulation station. Essentially, mine would be even less taxing than what John wants. You know,
Yeah.
I would just probably go up to N64 maybe for my station. Because as much as I would love to do PS1 and all that,
Well, PS1's actually not that hard to emulate.
yeah,
PS1's one of the easier ones.
yeah, like that would probably be my max. Like I'm not looking to go crazy, you know. But like should I do that when I can easily still play these games on this system? I don't need a separate box.
Yeah, for sure.
Tumbleweeds that you can totally just click through, which is nice.
Have you tried out RetroArch on there yet?
I noticed it's a whole different UI for some reason. It might have updated since I last opened it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know when's the last time you opened RetroArch.
It's been a while. I haven't touched it.
Not that it was bad. I was just like, oh, okay, this looks different. So maybe I just wasn't updating my RetroArch, and when I downloaded the new one.
I don't even know how to update RetroArch. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I don't know how to update the application without just downloading a whole new RetroArch.
So that might be it, but that was fine. So looking forward to also not having random crashes during randomizers.
Yeah, I mean, you should never, honestly, it should never crash again when you're playing RetroArch.
I think that's the main thing. We may have said this at the beginning of the stream and all that. Is just my main goal through this was two parts. One, I wanted a system that I could game on and do video editing for when I need to do video editing. So I need to upgrade to be able to do that because it was becoming a pain in the ass to video edit on the old system. Premiere didn't like it very much. And two, I wanted to not have to cross my fingers every time I opened the program.
Yeah.
So, mission accomplished on both. I only had one weird thing, well, two weird things. One was completely my fault that I figured out. Every time I kept trying to load The Witcher, it was like extremely like zoomed in to where I couldn't use the menus or anything.
Yeah.
Then I realized I went to the settings, and the default when you do 4K for Windows is to blow everything up by 300%. So you can
did the display scaling thing?
Yeah. So I put it down to 200% and it fit. Because I went to 100 and I couldn't see anything.
Yeah. For whatever reason, 4K Windows doesn't like 4K very much.
Can I just tell you, I don't know if you were watching when that guy stopped short there, but
yeah,
I literally reacted as though I was driving the car with my feet. The first time I've ever done that.
We're gonna get you some pedals and a steering wheel.
It was. I guess it's a good thing. It was like a complete involuntary natural reaction. Just my foot immediately went from where the gas pedal would be to the brake on my table.
So what was the other weird thing?
Let's see. What game was I playing? I loaded up a game, and Burnout Paradise. I did the first part of Burnout Paradise. I went through, and you go through the thing to repair your vehicle, because they give you a shitty vehicle, because they want to teach you about the repair station. Mm-hmm. So I went through the repair station, and then, I gotta find it. I wasn't paying attention to that. And then when I went through the thing and it does the whole cutscene, showing you how good. As soon as it did that, for some reason, it didn't crash. I guess it did, but I mean, it went like back to my desktop, but the program was like still running.
That's weird.
Like it was still in the tray,
But it wasn't.
but I couldn't.
Oh.
I couldn't open it.
Right.
So I had to, task manage, close it.
That could have just been the game doing it too.
Yeah, but it worked fine after that.
That's good.
But yeah, those are the two weird things that happened. I was so pissed with The Witcher until I figured out the issue.
That's the one downside of PC gaming is an issue could be something so stupid and no one else in the world is having that issue.
Yeah,
like
I think I was watching video Jay's put out that no, I'm going straight. Let me know straight. Yeah. About what was he talking about? I think it was the one where he was talking about why not build a PC. Like, why now is not the time to build it? Because he did another video where now is the time, so he's like, oh, there's two sides to every coin. And he was talking about that you could find used parts cheaper than, like you could find a 20 series card lightly used because someone's buying the next level up, in the next 6 months. He just used that as an example,
Yeah.
And it could be cheaper than buying a 1660,
Yep.
So, you can wait for that, but also you get into the used game things where people could be lying. But the thing you mentioned was being an enthusiast, and, all these companies can do all the tests they want. But once it gets into the wild, with a bunch of people banging on it and get all these errors that they've never seen before, is when
that was a big thing with AMD's most recent line of GPUs, the 5600 series, 56 and 5700 series. They were having issues. People would just have black screens when playing games and they couldn't figure out what the problem was. There was it was hundreds of people were saying they had this issue, but no one was able to replicate it or figure out what was causing it. And they finally have rolled out drivers that finally have fixed most of these issues, and it took them a while. It's just because it's a new architecture, it's a new thing, and people are going to have weird issues that you would never think of.
Yeah. Shit, we're trying to sleep. I just gotta get into this parking lot.
I mean, I myself, I was doing some digitizing of VHS tapes, and for some reason, anytime I would start it up and start a capture, the audio would be off. And then sometimes I would do it and I would start it and the audio would be correct. I could not for the life of me figure out what was going on. And then I was just going through like my program list, like to just take a look at it, and I had like a set of old drivers on my computer from who knows when, and I uninstalled those drivers and it worked just fine. It worked every single time after that. As soon as I uninstalled those drivers, it worked.
That's crazy. I don't know. I just noticed Jenny in the chat. I don't know how long she's been there. But she had the question if you want to...
Oh, it didn't pop up on screen.
I don't have that. I'm sorry. She asked, how's my new computer running?
Considering it's sitting on my my table waiting to be built, it's running great.
No, I think she meant mine.
Oh, yours? Yeah.
Yeah, it's running real great. Like I put the like I put in the chat the chef kiss emoji. Now I just gotta get out of here. I slept twice, so I might be late with this job. Because I hit the button twice. Yeah, it's running. Yeah, I don't know how much you've been listening, but Jen, this is running at 4K 60 right now. We're playing American Truck Simulator at 4K 60.
While streaming and no problems.
Yeah. And my temperature's staying pretty cool. So that's an improvement. Yeah. Even doing 1080p 60 for Witcher is going to be great because I could barely play more than 3 hours of that game. That's my own truck, so I will take that damage because I'm trying to get some speed back.
I'm just glad it's working. It looks great. Everything's working great.
Everything's great. Yeah, this will probably be my last delivery here.
Yeah, Mark, for some reason, the chat's not popping up on your...
Yeah, I didn't put it in. Yeah, that's my fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why isn't it there?
Yeah, if you do want to interact with her, you may need to pull it up on your phone or something.
Yeah, I got it.
It was the one thing I forgot to add in. Because I didn't save the...
Oh, yeah, all your scenes and stuff.
Luckily, the audio stuff just came up fine. I haven't had an audio issue.
Yeah, he got SNAS figured out. It was, he got it set up so it was counting down the beginning.
My issue when I asked that question was I didn't realize I had to, like, go into the file, like, browse and go through the folders to find it. I thought I could just copy and paste the location.
No, yeah, you gotta, like, pull it up, I think.
I was going to ask you before. I'm glad I didn't. When you were building the computer, I was like, "Did you put RetroArch in there and give me the BIOS for PS1?" But after hearing the slight difficulties, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't put anything else on your shoulders.
Yeah, and then it took forever for Windows to install. I don't know why. It was just taking like so much time. Because apparently there was a couple of big updates, like Windows updates this past week, that took a while to download. And I didn't want to do anything else while that was happening because, you know, computers are weird.
Oh, yeah. That's the first thing I noticed.
So I let that do its thing, and then once it finished, then I installed your NVIDIA drivers and the chipset drivers. That's something you want to make sure you keep up to date with. The AMD chipset drivers really help performance. So I'd say check every couple of months the AMD website for your chipset, which is B450. So
alright, yeah.
I'm a weirdo and I check drivers like every day.
I don't think that much.
Yeah, Jen, I built the whole thing and then I tried to turn it on and it didn't turn off.
She wasn't here for that. You might need to go through it again.
Yeah.
I got time.
So I built the whole thing and I set it all up and I plugged it in and I hit the power button and it didn't turn on because I plugged the case power button into the wrong spot. So I ripped the whole thing apart, and was troubleshooting it with a different power supply and all different stuff. And I realized that I didn't have the case plugged into the right spot. And once I figured out where the right spot was, it turned on no problem. So, on top of that, Mark's case bit me a few times. My knuckles were all beat up after putting it all together. But other than that, it was good. I'm hoping yours will be much smoother. Not that Mark wasn't smooth; it just took forever.
Yeah, you don't have a really cheap case.
Edgar was probably the source of my problems.
Yeah, I would say the case thing is more the case knows I'm looking for a replacement case. So I decided to lash out at Tom.
Serves the purpose for now.
Oh, trust me, your case is going to be a dream compared to my case.
I've never built in a Corsair case, so I'm excited to do it. I've built in Cooler Master cases, Fractal, Thermal Take. Jenny's is a Corsair, so I'm hoping for smooth sailing.
Then glad you switched cases then, Jen.
Yeah. And Jen, just so you know, the fans that your case comes with are like $100. So they're probably built into the cost of the case. But I'll be throwing in a cheapo, like $8 fan for you, because it only comes with 3 and it needs another one. No problem.
Yeah, I think that if I'm going to bling out my case, when I get a new one, it would just be, I would find the least expensive, like, RGB fans for, like, the front of the case.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Jen, you missed it too. I went out and bought RGB fans for my computer, because I knew yours were coming and I wanted to try it out. So now I'm spoiled and I have RGB fans in my case, which was a pain in the ass too. Well, my case is a Fractal Meshify C, and it's kind of small. It's not very long, if that makes sense. So I had to like take the whole front apart to get all the fans in there, because you had to like move a drive cage and all kinds of crap to get the bottom fan in. But I did it, and it looks good, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I loved watching those builds, or the one guy like doing he has the whole thing where he critiques people's builds, which got old after a while. But
yeah,
the one thing is he just kept complaining. One guy, they kept putting in the like light strips or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were like putting them like out in the open.
No, that's no good.
To where it was like, he's like, what? They're meant to go like up against the edge so that you don't see where the light is coming from. Like, did you just like drop it in the case? He's like, it's not even sticking to anything. You like zoomed in on the photo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch those critiquing videos. They get old real fast. Mostly I watch the builds, if they do any like cool like theme builds. I watch basically anytime they build a computer, I watch it.
Yeah, that's what I've started to do.
Or when they put together parts lists. Yeah, Jen, water cooling is a whole other animal that I don't know. I don't know that I'm ready for that yet. Water cooling.
Yeah, I don't think for our needs we really need it.
I mean, nobody really needs it. It just looks cool. I'll give you that. It looks awesome, but I would just be afraid that something would leak and I'd destroy all this hardware, and I don't feel comfortable with having water near computer parts. But that's just me. But watching people do it, that's cool. I can do that.
Like I said, I'm going to be late with this delivery. And apparently the music changed.
Because you're late?
Because I might be late. Let's get this. Let's speed, baby. I got an autosave.
Jen, what do you mean she built a computer without a case?
What? Technically do that, but it wouldn't be good for it.
What is it sitting on? Yeah, send me a pic. I'm interested. I'm building a computer that's in like a test bench, which is technically not a case, I guess, quote unquote not a case, but it's still like attached to something. Yeah, I'm so into it now that I'm building a computer just for testing purposes. I've lost my mind. You doing 100 yet?
I have the gas pedal like down. It's got to be the elevation.
Oh, Jen, that's a case, but it's not. It's like that's basically like a test bench, which is basically what I'm doing. And it's water cooled, which is ridiculous. Why? It's a case. It's a Thermaltake case. I actually wanted this case, but I didn't buy it because it was too much money. It actually comes with like glass you can put on the front, but it doesn't look like she's using it. I'll send you what the case is supposed to look like.
That skybox is amazing.
Oh yeah.
The stars.
I like that.
I don't think my truck does much better than that. Yeah, I saw on some of those building critiques where people actually made it without a case. Like they just hung the parts up from the ceiling.
Yeah, I've seen like wall-mounted builds before, which is bizarre.
Yeah, I think it's been he'd like seen 3 in a row. The hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he goes, "This must be something," and I never knew about it. Yeah, the one funny thing I saw, they found out that Amazon had stolen your computer parts as a scam.
Oh yeah, I watched that one. I would never let anybody touch my computer like
Yeah,
that.
the price thing was that guy scamming a little bit, but I kind of felt bad for him. Is because, you know, according to Amazon, he's the only one in that guy in his area.
Yeah, that's got to be rough.
And I got to be, that guy's like, he may have went in there with like experience on Macs, and they're like, no, you're just doing all computers, guy. They're the same, right? And it just Bezos patch on the shoulder. But yeah, the scam part was the price.
Yeah, and the fact that it just kept going up.
Yeah. Because even I think Bill had said in the video, he was like, yeah, it was actually not bad at building it. You know, he's like, I wonder if, you know, the stuff he probably never did a gaming computer before.
Yeah, he was probably just like a normal dude who just happened to work on computers.
You know, like mom and pop, like your parents' computer or like a basic office computer.
Right, like upgrading RAM or something like that.
But I love that he answered in the first 2 minutes the first question I had about that video. He was like, so, I'm going to put him to Slate the Skies in case the guy watches my channel. Yeah, I don't know if Jenny's still around or she probably wasn't here when we were talking about that. Once everybody's up and running, we should find a 3-player multiplayer game.
Yes, we should.
On PC.
I mean, we could do GTA. I don't know how good of an idea that is. But there's plenty of free-to-play games. We're thinking Destiny 2, but that could be hard. Dead by Daylight. Oh, I'm good. You guys can play that.
Yeah, we were trying to find one that Tom would be okay with. Me and you are definitely going to get back on that. Yeah, the only two that popped in my head that would be no extra cost us were Destiny 2 and Apex.
Yeah, Apex Legends is a good one.
I don't know if Call of Duty's co-op, but I know Warzone's free.
Does Warzone have squads?
That's what I mean, I'm not sure.
That's another option.
And you would only have to download Warzone, so you wouldn't have to download 108 games.
I appreciate that.
And also, I could probably play through my Xbox, because it's cross-platform.
Oh, is it?
So even if I had to purchase anything, you know, I wouldn't have to. You know, we'd have to see if it's free for Jenny. I doubt not. Yeah, and if you get Game Pass for PC, Jen, I know that I think Halo Master Chief Collection is free.
Yes, it is. Halo Master Chief Collection, Forza. That would be fun. You could play Forza online.
Yeah.
What else? There's a ton of Gears 5 is on there. Gears 5 for PC.
Jen, you might want to check your email and see if you got any of the. Well, she would have gotten the same promos I got. I got 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate for free.
Yeah,
I think
but I think
with the Ryzen.
Yeah, she'll have to. I think she has to actually have the computer running.
Yeah, no, don't do it now. I'm just saying. I was going to offer my 3 months free, but I'm like, we are going to reverse on the highway.
Are you still late?
Yeah, I'm very late.
Jen, by the way, I was kind of scared with the power supply you bought because I had seen pictures of it with like super ugly red and yellow gross cables. but I opened it today and they're black. They're all black, sleeved all the way to the top. So I was very happy that you didn't have to deal with a ugly power supply.
And that's how you can tell I've watched way too many of those videos, because my initial thing was just like, ooh, ketchup mustard.
Yep. Ketchup and mustard cables are the worst. The worst.
I'm definitely late. I was going to be more late. Well, no, actually, it didn't waste any time by backing up. Because I would have to wait for this train anyway at this point.
Yes, McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, it's literally. Speaking of, I think this is supposed to be McDonald's on my right.
McDougal's?
Yeah, it says Ray's Hamburgers.
Yes, that's McDonald's.
But I don't think he can put McDonald's in here because it's not, they don't do the art, the M arch.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, let's see how much I get knocked off for this. So I'm excited. Next week should be, by this time next week we should be playing Dead by Daylight. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, Mark.
Well, I'm giving it 4 days.
Well, first of all, I have to build it. Then they have to come get it. And then she has to set it up at her house. So there's a whole lot of stuff happening.
Oh, I forgot to do that. Ah, I didn't even need to. Nice.
Yes, that's Jen. That's what I tried to put that in the chat the other day, but for some reason I couldn't find if you build it he will come meme gif.
Yeah, so that late penalty wasn't that bad.
That's good.
See there. Only lost $500 and 35 experience points.
Oh, that's not bad.
Alright, let me sign up for a job and then we'll sign off. So, freight market. Flagstaff. Do price per distance. Ooh, we got a big one for next week, guys. We're going to go from Flagstaff, Arizona to Salem, Oregon.
Oh, that's a hell of a
1,214 miles. A 23-hour and 13-minute trip. So be on the lookout for that next week on Actual Truckin' Thursday. Take this long trip, and maybe we'll have another build computer to talk about.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Truckin' Thursdays. I'm going to pick another day for other games. So we'll be back on Thursday. We'll do this route here. Let me make this here. Okay, let me do this again. Why is this is so weird? There we go. Okay. So, yes.
I have to like accept the job or something.
I'm just going to go around the corner like it said. maybe the job's there. That's weird. Is that job a Warbird's job?
Are you lost,
Oh,
Mark?
it's a sell goods job. I was in the lot to pick it up. That's my fault. I thought it was a Warbird's job. So now I just gotta go around the corner. I just want to make sure I get this job before we sign out. Whatever. Oh, that was a steep fine.
Fine.
I mean, I have $126,000, so. Okay, so goods is. Right there. Okay. And there we go. Take the job.
Nice.
Now I can save. All right, so thank everyone for joining us and Jenny in the chat. So we save this as not that Salem. So you can see my beautiful truck here while we say the goodbyes. I can get some upgrades on it.
Yes, sleeper cabin that sucker for the next trip.
Yeah. Like I said, Thursdays, we're doing Truckin' Thursdays. Next time, we won't have the stuff in the upper left-hand corner. This was just so Tom could see it run for a good almost 2 hours here. And then the temperatures rarely went above 77. I think a lot of that fluctuation might have to do with that my room is hot as hell. Here, but thankfully it hasn't jumped and turned itself off at any point so far. So, thank you for joining me, Tom. Thanks again, Jenny in the chat. Do you want to do the quick plugs for Game Vault?
Sure. We just released an episode this week from the Game Vault podcast. You can find it on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts from. We talked about building PCs. What do you know? We talked about our first experiences with PC gaming and what we can expect going forward. You can find us on Twitter at GameVaultPod if you feel like reaching out to us, talking to us about PCs, retro games, whatever you guys want to talk about. We're open for discussion. Our live streams have been a little in flux as of lately, but now that we're getting our equipment put together, we're going to be more on a schedule. Mark is doing Truckin' Thursdays at the least. Next Monday, I'm hoping to have all of Jenny's parts so I can stream her PC build. We'll see if that happens. That's the plan, though. If not Monday, maybe Tuesday.
Okay, we might have to push it to Wednesday because I won't be available Tuesday.
Okay, we'll see.
That's when I do the other thing that I will promote when you're finished.
Okay. Yeah, whenever I get everything together and get it all set up. Jenny will be doing Friday Night Fright Fest, hopefully next Friday, if I get this thing built. She'll be playing Dead by Daylight on Fridays. She switches Fridays and Saturdays depending on when we record our podcast, because we record on Fridays. But this week we're not recording, so she'll be playing on Friday. Are you guys going to keep doing Stardew Sundays?
Yeah, that's up to Jenny. She's the one that hosts the farms. So, yeah.
All right. Well, then keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out on our Twitter. We usually post the day before or during the day of when we're going to stream and what we're going to stream. So just keep an eye out there and come hang out.
Yeah. And I'll jump in one final line is I think after next week we should have a set in stone schedule for the most part.
Yes,
because
hopefully.
all equipment will be done and not set in stone in terms of we may delay it. Just keep an eye on the Twitter. But yeah, we'll most likely be able to have here's 3 to 4 days a week when we are 95% sure going to be streaming sort of thing. And, so the other things that our sister podcast, we have Stranger Damies, which airs every Wednesday. That's our D&D podcast. You can find that on iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you get podcasts. I think we're on Spotify. They Call This Movie, which is on Thursdays. I record those on Tuesdays, so that's why I'm not available on Tuesdays. I don't know if I need to be there for the live stream, unless if you need that, but we'll discuss that off air. But yeah, so you can find those anywhere you get podcasts. We're on Twitter with both at Stranger Damies and at the main Damie for They Call This a Movie. We have Instagrams for both. Feel free to the main Damie Instagram. It's really cool. Each Thursday or Friday, and throws up like a good quote or a funny quote from the episode, and then every so often we have a little video snippet of a fun conversation we had with a clip playing in the background. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, and feel free if you have any critiques for any of those podcasts, send it along to that. And remember, if you have any formal complaints that you need to make, you can make them to Diaquino122 on Twitter. And just no context, just send him what you're angry about with us. So once again, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jenny. And hopefully we'll see you on Monday. Take care, guys.